Hello and welcome to this short video demonstration of the QuickBooks Cloud accounting software that we use ourselves here at CA Plus and that many of the organisations we help and support also use. We like this program for a number of reasons. Firstly, it's relatively easy to use. It's built by non-accountants for non-accountants, which is a good start. And you really don't need any significant degree of accounting expertise to use this program. It can also be set up very simply for organisations that just want to keep track of cash, money in, money out, that kind of thing. But it can also deal with very complex situations like foreign exchange transactions and partial VAT recovery, fixed assets and depreciation and accruals and all sorts of other things that people love. But hopefully you won't need any of that. Anyway, we also like it, of course, because it's accessible. So you can access this software from anywhere. You've got internet access. You could be lying on a beach on your holidays and decide to log in and do some accounting. And also, of course, we can log in because the way this works is we host the file for you. And that means that if you need any support, you can just give us a call or Skype us or email us, and we can log in and see exactly what you're doing, and you can be supported in that way from us remotely. Of course, you're more than welcome to come into Nottingham and come and see us if you want as well. So that's the various reasons we like the program. It's also not too expensive. We managed to get this quite cheap because QuickBooks know us and we've got lots of clients on it. So we pay £10 a month to QuickBooks plus VAT for hosting these files, and we pass that cost on to you. And our support that we give to you to set up your file and give you training and so forth is covered through our time bank system, and there's more information about this on our website. So we're going to have a quick tour. I'm not really training you in this short video, it's just a quick demonstration of how it works. And we're going to begin by looking at this dashboard that we come to when you log into your program. This is the kind of thing you'll see, and it's just a summary of the main features of your accounts at any one time. And this is actually our accounts, the Community Accounting Plus accounts, and this is live, so this is bang up to date today. So we have a few options and a few ways around this program. We have a menu down here, and we'll come to that shortly. But we're going to begin up here on the right where this settings wheel is placed, and if we click on that, you can see that this is where you would enter some of the basic settings for your accounting system. So if I go, for example, to company settings, click on there, you can see that this is where you will edit your address and your email, your logo if you want, and a few other things to do with your accounts. If I go to the sales settings, and if I did click in here, customize look and feel of these sales forms, you can go in here and you can actually look at the invoices you raise if you do invoicing, and you can edit your invoicing. I'll just click on a standard one here, and you can do things like say I want to have my logo, I want to have my address, I want to tell my clients how to pay me, and this is where you do that kind of thing. I'll just say done to that. Won't save any changes. I go back onto this settings wheel up here. That was all in company settings, and there's a few other things up here. The chart of accounts, this in our case, I'll go there, in our case this is a bit more complex than you may want. We have fixed assets and so forth, but for most of you, you would have your bank and cash, and then you would have your income accounts, things like grants, contracts, sundry income, payroll fees, this is what we use ourselves, and then you'll have your expenses. You may have equipment, hospitality, insurance, these kind of things. So this is called your chart of accounts, and it's something you set up, and you can always amend these things as you go. If you decide you need a new account, you can just create a new one, or you can even edit existing ones and change the name if you got the spelling wrong or something like that. Okay, that was the chart of accounts. I'm not going to show you everything on here, some are more important than others. If you do invoice people for things, you need to set up your products and services. I will just click here, and in products and services we've got things like what have we got? Say accounting fees. So accounting services here, this is a product that we sell, and we've set this item up here. I just click on edit. So when we raise an invoice in our system, this is the kind of information that will go into that invoice. Preparation and examination of accounts, for example. So you do all this kind of setup stuff as early as you can, but again here you can add to things and edit things later if you wish. Back to the settings. Recurring transactions, I won't go there, but you can set up things that happen every month or regularly, so it saves on typing and entering. Reconcile to the bank, again I probably won't show you that now, but That's very important, has to happen every month, and there's a system when you click on that you can make sure that what you've typed in or what you've entered into your accounting system agrees with your bank. Very important that you do that at least monthly. Budgeting, I'll just click on that for now. In the budgeting, these are the budgets that CA Plus have, so this top one here, 1718, if I click on edit for now, this is the budget that my trustees, the figures are over here on the right, you can just about see them because I've expanded the screen to show you, but this is the budget that my trustees have approved, and from time to time I report on this budget to my trustees and explain why everything is absolutely fantastic. You shall see. Okay, that's the budgeting. There is an audit log. I very rarely go there myself, but there is a complete record of everything's ever done on your software, if ever you wanted to see it. Anyway, those are the settings, some of the things up there. Just while I'm up in this area, there is a search feature here, so you can search the entire system, all your records, for an amount or a name or something like that. And there's an advanced search filter here that you can say, I'd like to find everything with John in the name box, or everything for £10 20p or something like that. This little item here, this circle with a cross in the middle, that is if you want to add something, and it's what I call longhand. So if you want to do stuff the long way round, you can click on this and you could enter an invoice. You could click on that. I will do it for now. So I'll open a blank invoice and I could fill this in. You know, for example, I would like to send, let's see, Emmanuel House. There we go, we work with them quite often. I'm sure they won't mind. So Emmanuel House, if I clicked on that, it would pre-populate with their details, and I could come down to here and enter the product I'm selling, and it would fill in here, and I'd then click Save and Send, and they would receive a nice invoice from us to pay, hopefully. But I'm not going to do that today because they don't owe us anything, so I shall leave without saving and say yes. So that was back up here if I wanted to raise an invoice. I could enter in a payment if I want to enter some petty cash expenses, for example. I could click on here, click on the word expenses, enter who I've paid, type something in there. It wouldn't be coming out of our bank account, it would be coming out of our cash in hand. And I could go down to here and I could put, say, hospitality, you know, so I had a large expensive dinner, which I'm sure wouldn't be allowed. I could fill in some details and put the amount here. I don't know, £10, let's say. That's a very small dinner. We are registered for VAT, so we have to account for that, but hopefully you don't, but you may. And then I could save and close that, and that would be entered into our accounting system if I did that, which I'm not going to do today. I'll close that. So that's the long way of doing things. There are shortcuts, and I'll show you those shortly. Now let's look at this menu on the left here. I'll just go back to the dashboard so we know where we are, back home if you like. Down here, the sales, that's where we have a complete record of all the people that we engage with in terms of invoicing. So anyone, I can find their record and I can see, you know, if they paid us all the invoices we raised in years gone by, and their complete record. That's all in this customers area here. So I click on there and I can filter and find a customer, and their record would come up down here. The one I'm going to jump to actually next is this one that says reports, and I'm going to come back and finish on the banking area, but I wanted to go to reports first to show you that it's a very powerful program for reporting, and you can create all sorts of reports. There are hundreds and all of them can be edited to suit you. So for example, if I go to recommended and I go to profit and loss and I just click on the default recommended profit and loss report, it comes up with a report that shows money in, money out, and it says last month. But if I change that date to, for example, let's go down here to the last financial quarter and run the report, you can see the results for CA Plus for April to June 2017, and these are the accounts headings and so forth. And because it's an accounting software program, if I look at, say, bank charges and I don't know what that is, that 18369, I can click on it and the system drills down on all the entries that make up that total, and I can look at those, and if for example I thought that this one was wrong, I could click on that and it would drill down to the very source document that we entered some time ago, and I could change this and save it, and then my report will be corrected. In this case this is perfectly correct. I'm quite happy with it. I'm just going to close it and close that one there, and I'm going to go back to summary report, that's hidden up there, and back to this profit and loss for the period. So you can drill down and correct things, tidy things up, make sure they're right, and then you can print it, or you can click on that and export it to Excel, or you can email it to someone. And all of these reports you can change the settings. I changed the date up here, but you could also customize the report up here, and you could even filter it to get rid of things or to just show you a particular account or something. So it's very powerful reporting. And basically what you do, if I click outside of here, well actually I'll run this report as it is when you're happy with this report, you then save it. So if you click Save Customizations, you get the option to save this report in a folder for later use. So what I've done, if I click on Reports, is if I go to My Custom Reports, you can see here that these are reports which I've saved, and these are reports that my board want to receive regularly. So some of these reports I actually send to my committee, and one of them, for example, is a budget variance report where we compare what's happened to the budget which I've already put in. So reporting, very powerful. Right, the last thing, because this is going on far too long for a demo, is I'm going to go to the banking area, and this is the really clever bit, because in the banking area we have linked our program to our bank account, Unity Trust Bank, and I'm going to hope that there have been some transactions in the last few hours, because what we do is we raise invoices on our system, we might put in the petty cash, but that's about all the typing we do. We then go to our banking area like this and we click the word update over here, and this is where, if I'm lucky, I'm going to have some transactions, and if I'm not, you're just going to have to trust me, because what happens is, oh there we go, perhaps I'll do this another day, but what would have happened is, if there had been anything that's happened since the last time we did it, transactions get listed here in this area here. So we draw down information off the bank and we then process it. So we would add or match transactions to get them into our accounting system. So if someone has paid an invoice, for example, what would come in here would be the fact that our bank has received some money, and over on this side there would be the word match, and we would match it to the invoice. And QuickBooks is clever enough to find the fact that whoever's paid us the money owes us some money, because there's an invoice on the system, and it invites us to match it to the invoice. At that point the accounting records are updated, the debtors account is corrected because they don't owe us any money anymore, the bank account in QuickBooks goes up by however much they paid us, and when we come to do our bank reconciliation that I mentioned earlier, the bank reconciliation is already ticked because it knows it agrees with the bank, because that's where it's just come from. And this is a one-way street, so stuff comes down off the bank into this area for processing. You cannot get to your bank to do transactions on the bank account from QuickBooks. It's a one-way street, well, for obvious reasons. Well, anyway, assuming stuff is coming off the bank and gets processed, if I go to the account history here, so this is our Unity Trust current bank account, and you can see all these entries have been entered today. So 17th of July, that's today. And this entry here from Aurora Wellbeing, they paid us some money. We actually brought it in off the bank, we matched it to an invoice, and here it is sitting in our account now, in the Unity Trust bank account, as money received. And that's how the bank works. So the banking feature saves a lot of time, both on typing and entering, but also when it comes to reconciling. So that's kind of it, really. It's a neat system. We can set them up fairly quickly. We offer training and support in it. There are some of our groups who don't need us very often. There are others who need us more, but that's fine. People are at different levels of comfort with this kind of program, and some people need more training than others, but that's fine. And as I say, you can have multiple use, so you could have 3 or 4 people in your organisation that use this quite often. So if you want to know more about it, you can contact us through our website, or caplus.org.uk, and we wish you well with your accounting. Thank you very much.